Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and today
There is nothing wrong with your podcast. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling the transmission. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. While we are in control, sit quietly, and we will provide all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your podcast.
Ha! You all expected the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and instead you've got Nick's dad and Ken Clarich, who's joining us today. Ken is the owner, as many of you should know by now. If not, I don't know where the hell you've been. The owner of Ash and Ale Lounge in Palm Coast. And how's things in Palm Coast, Ken?
It's not a typical Florida day, let me tell you. It's 71 degrees, so a lot of the country's warmer than us. It's very windy, and it's supposed to rain for the next week.
Sounds like Indiana.
I'm in Indiana.
We were talking a minute ago. It's beautiful. I mean, spring is going nuts here, as is everybody's allergies. But it's like 53 degrees, blue sky, poofy white clouds. It's windy. I mean, we're getting wind up to like 25 miles an hour. So yeah. I'm sitting under my patio umbrella to protect myself from sunshine, block the wind a little bit, and keep golf balls off of my head. So anyway, all right.
Anyway,
thank you for doing this, Ken. This is something you and I talked about, I don't know, a couple of months ago.
Yes, we did.
And right now, everybody is probably wondering, what did you do with Nick? Where's Nick? Well, Nick's fine. He's not tied up. Unless he's doing something.
He might be.
Yeah. Well, it's like it is with kids. You teach them how to walk, but once they start running, you turn your back.
Oh.
So if he's into that kinky shit, that's on his business. But he's not in my crawl space. He's not in danger. He's perfectly fine. We're kind of doing this for a couple of reasons, and I'll get into some detail. I have notes, so if you folks see me sitting and looking down, it's because there's so much we want to cover. I don't want to muck this up. We're doing this for fun, and we thought we'd give Nicholas a day off. On a personal note, I'm dedicating this episode to the tens of thousands of you who over the last year and a half or 2 years told Nick that I should have my own show. I was flabbergasted to hear from that many people. But more recently, Matt Hoffman, you crazy fool! You see what you ended up doing. You wanted Nick's dad to have a show. Well,
poke the bear.
You got it. You got it. You fool. More importantly, Nick hasn't blown his horn on this thing, and I wanted to go through a few statistics. I helped him update his media kit the other week. He's getting ready to go to the PCA show. Now, are you going to that this year, Ken, or not? PCA?
Unfortunately, no. I could not make it this year with all of the family things that I've had going, and plus now I've got kidney stones. So no, I'm not going.
Oh Lord! All right, and you're doing well. Yeah, you know what you've got. You just don't know the treatment yet.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll talk about getting older later.
Okay.
Anyway, in doing some research on the cigar pulp, I came across some statistics. I did some further looking. This August will be 7 years since he started this event, so to speak, this podcast. In 7 years' time, Pulpit has reached over 340,000 downloads, over 680 episodes.
Oh, we've got a visitor.
All right. I'll tap him in and we'll get back to him in a second. All right. Yeah, he's still on mute. All right. We'll get to him in a few.
Jeff, give us just a minute. We'll be right with you.
You got it, Pop.
So what we've got is, I want to get all the participants on here. Good. Ken, are you still there?
I am.
Yeah, see, you got an old man here dealing with technology, and that shit never works. He's done over 340,000 downloads, over 660 episodes. And the thing that got me most is he has listeners in all 50 states and over 102 countries. I couldn't name you 100 countries, but over nearly 7 years now, the Cigar Pulpit has tapped in 102 countries.
That's
all
impressive.
Yeah, I think it is. And he never talks about this shit, but I'm bringing it up as a reason why we're doing this, to give him a day off. So I used my Sebastian AI buddy. I have AI and he speaks to me, and I gave him a British accent. So I call him Sebastian. I asked Sebastian, how does the cigar pulpit fit into all the other cigar podcasts? He's number 10 already in the most active cigar podcasts. Obviously, the Cigar Authority is number one. They're the grandfather, and we respect that. Nicholas is already number 10. Among podcasts launched after 2015, his is the top third longest running now. By episode count and frequency, he's top 5 all time. Now, I'll give you a comparison. Nick has done over 680 episodes. Cigar Authority in 16 years has done 832. So there's not a lot of gap in 7 years versus 16. Among independent, non-retail, non-radio podcasts, he's top tier in longevity and volume. As the content stated, the Cigar Pulp is one of the most durable, prolific, and consistently produced cigar podcasts in industry's history. That distinction matters, and many industry folks acknowledge it. The Cigar Pulpit punches well above its launch year. So I'm giving accolades. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm giving accolades and a pat on the back to Nicholas. He deserves a day off from this once in a while.
Yes.
So the last thing I'm going to say about all this before we move on here is the cool part about what we're doing today with y'all is Nicholas has no idea what we're talking about. This podcast is going to be like your phone calls into Ask the Pulpit. He won't know what we're saying until he uploads it and hears it for himself the first time. The poor schmuck trusts Ken and I to not burn the house down, which makes it kind of fun. So that's what's going to be fun tonight. Is I'm recording this on his account, and this evening sometime is where he's going to take this and cringe and sit and go through it, and we'll see what happens when it comes out. Maybe tomorrow or Friday. I guess I don't know, but anyway. That's our reasons to do it. If you have anything to add, Ken, go ahead. But
I just think that was great what you just did. I mean, as you said, Nick never touts his own horn, so having someone do it for him is kind of nice every now and then.
That's what parents do, I guess. I don't know.
So
that's what I've read. Anyway,
see, he's not such a bad guy, anyways. Just Jim character.
I kind of like him. So with that, you're going to have some familiarity in this episode, folks. We're going to try to emulate. We may do some, I don't know, not satire, but our best to
renditions.
That's good. I like that, renditions. So we're going to cover some topics. Obviously, we have a guest in the green room. We'll call it.
Yeah.
We'll get to him in a second. But first, what are you smoking today, Ken?
I am smoking the Aganorsa Leaf Aniversario Corojo edition, the Toro size.
All right.
And I'm going to be even more wise with our guest on board. I'm going to let our guest in just a second explain to me what this cigar is consisting and made of. But it is a Puro.
All right. I am having the Aganorsa Leaf Valedición Habano. There you go. It's a 6 1/4 by 52 Toro. It's a Nicaraguan binder. Filler is Corojo and Criollo 98, and it's kind of a medium thing. So we're going to be having these today. And here's where I do the first commercial. Let's give this cigar a cut. All right. I love mocking Nicholas. The official cutting is brought to you guys by twoguyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for 41 years since I looked them up, and they started, I believe it was April in 85. So 41 years, not 40. And they're the most trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. They're family owned and operated. Twoguyscigars.com does the very best, provide great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. So head on over to twoguyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that Nick's dad and Ken sent you and see what the hell they say about that. That'll completely confuse them, I'm sure.
That will befuddle them to no end.
I can't wait to hear that. And remember, that's the number 2, twoguyscigars.com. And so you know, I did some research. When cigars twoguyscigars.com did the .com thing. A lot of times .com stands for commercial, like .edu is education and .gov is government. Not in the case of twoguyscigars.com. Their .com actually stands for community. Here, I'm doing some marketing for Dave Garofalo. You love this shit? So when you buy from twoguyscigars.com community, you're joining a community of probably, I don't know, hundreds of thousands, if not more, cigar buyers from around the world. And they're all happy camping with their cigars. So buy from twoguyscigars.com community and be like be like everybody else in the world and be happy with your purchase and dealing with great people. See what I did there?
I did. Can we cut now?
And with that, I don't know where my microphone is here. I don't have a noise. Let's click, cut the cigars. How's that? There's the noise. Attaboy.
I'm here to support, Jim. I'm here to support.
You the man.
Okay.
And while we light our cigars, we're going to treat you to a cover version a la William Shatner spoken word concept to the commercial, unlike anything you've ever heard before. Some say cigars are all the same. That's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, but what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's word that's just abused.
I guess that's so they can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo.
Aladino Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars uses authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. And this is not the greatest commercial you ever heard.
Yeah.
So go ahead and introduce your guest. Let's get him so he can move on with his life and stop his ears from bleeding here. And I'm going to light up. And I'm going to light up, not making a whole lot of noise like the other host always seems to do, that obnoxious, weird noise, that ASMR crap that I hate so much. I'm going to try to do this as silently as I can.
Good luck with that. So with us today, we have, that's joining us, this is Jeff Groover. Jeff is not a salesperson like a normal rep from a company, but Jeff is a broker, and I'm going to let Jeff go in and explain what that means. A lot of folks have been asking and wanting to know the differences between manufacturers, reps, brokers, and distributors. So, Jeff, I'm going to give you the floor for a minute and let you go through and explain who you rep, what you do, and why you're different than other people.
Well, good afternoon, gentlemen. You may have just heard it in my voice. Normally would be having a cigar with you all.
You don't have to get choked up. It's just just relax, all right?
I'm so happy to be here.
I know.
The pressure's hard, I know.
I know, man. You've always wanted to be in our presence, but get over it.
Absolutely. I wish I was enjoying a great cigar with you guys, but I've definitely been a little under the weather yesterday and today, so I'm going to take a couple of days off to make sure everything resets. That's okay. I'm feeling good. I just, at the point, I don't think I'm ready for a cigar yet, as much as I truly would want one. But again, thank you all for having me. I appreciate what it is that you all do, and taking time out of your schedule as well to have me a part of your podcast. So thank you.
You're very welcome.
I think that you mentioned what it is that I do. I actually started. So there's basically two types of reps for the cigar industry. Unless you're Padron, and then they don't have reps at all. So I guess there's actually...
It's good to be king.
There's three kinds. There's one that doesn't exist, and then there's two others. So men and women, the other men and women in our industry that do what I do, either they work directly for one company the entire time, like my buddy John Converse works with Perdomo, right? He works specifically for them all the time, no other companies. And I started my career that way as well, believe it or not, with AJ Fernandez back... the business September was 13 years, about 13 and a half years. But oddly enough, when I went to work for AJ, and I can explain how I got to that point, and started in this industry, went to work with AJ, and no one knew who he was. Now, that may be a weird thing to hear, but I would walk into accounts like yours, Ken, over there at Ash and Ale in Palm Coast. Lovely place. Had my shirt on this weekend. Thank you. Fine establishment. I would walk into Ken's retail shop and say, "Oh, my name's Jeff Gruber. Nice to meet you. I work with AJ Fernandez." And somebody like Ken would say, "Who?" And I'm like, we're Sam Latano. We're the guys, out of Nicaragua. New guy coming in. Yeah, never heard of you. Thank goodness he had a different shaped cigar that he had just kind of launched. It was called the Oval. It wasn't round. It wasn't box pressed. It was a little, like a soft shape that we all know today as the Oval.
Yeah.
And it got a nice little buzz about it. And I'd go around retail shop, one after another. And eventually people took a liking to me. I'm born and raised in Georgia, although I've been in South Florida now for longer than I ever lived in Georgia. So I'm kind of a hybrid. I don't think anyone's truly ever from Florida. We're all transplants. But my point is I treat people the way that I would want to be treated, right? And I firmly believe that you're always selling yourself, not just a product in the car. And my product just happens to be cigars, and now I sell some accessories as well. But taking my time over the course of about a year and a half, really cementing myself into the industry and running my route over and over and over and over again, man. I literally do three things in my industry. Number one is show up, just be at the account, right? That relationship that I have with Ken, that's what it's all about to me. Now, fortunately, if you have a good product, Ken's able to put it on the shelves and he can sell it and make money from it. And I make money from it as well. And the company I work for makes money. Then we're all a big, happy cigar circle of life. So it's, I tell everyone it's not rocket science. If I can do it, I jokingly say a blind monkey can do it, to be honest. But so I do three things: show up. Somebody like Ken says, send me this. Or Ken says, hey, somebody messed up this invoice or the shipping or whatever it may be. And I'm the front line of, defense, if you will. I have to go and fix it. That's my job. So I stick to that formula. And I try not to pretend to go outside of that. So if there's ever a question or somebody really wants to know something specific, and I'll refer back to what you said. You talked about the cigar you have in your hand. You're going to have me tell you about it. I dumb it way down. People, oh, what is this? And I go, it's a cigar. They're like, yeah, we know that. They're like, but what's it made of? And I'm like, tobacco, I think. And they laugh. Where's it from? And I go, the ground. I don't know. What do you mean? I wasn't there when they picked it and rolled. But if you want specifics, obviously, I know everything about that cigar in your hand. That's Criollo and Corojo that we grow at our farm in Nicaragua, through and through at about 50-50 ratio.
And as I said, it's a Pura, so everything is from Nicaragua. It's on the strength side. This one is going to be a 4 out of 5 on strength. It's got a good little bite to it with it. And it comes in 4 different sizes also. So depending on your likes, preferences, I'm always a Toro guy. So I always go for the Toro, but everyone has their own preferences. Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about the different companies you work for?
Absolutely. Thank you, Ken. So when I had my career there for a bit with AJ Fernandez, I did very, very well. I came out of the box hot and heavy. Fortunately, at the time, the owner of the company, God rest his soul, not AJ, the guy that ran the stateside, he passed several years back, but he wanted me to go and become the sales manager for the other territories. From my previous career, I managed about 125 employees, and I didn't want to have to worry about another grown man or woman explaining to them how to get to work and what they need to do to go be successful. I was well past that in my life. So the negotiation was that either I was going to go to work as the manager, and they offered me a nice package to do so, or they were going to fire me. I said, well, then you're going to have to fire me because I'm not taking the manager's position. And sure enough, just like that, I lost my job. That was on a Friday. And oddly enough, there was a multi-vendor event that Friday, not far from the warehouse down in Sunrise, Florida. And the owner of the company said he would send somebody from the warehouse to cover the event for me. And I said, well, respectfully, I made a commitment to my retailer to be there. And I would like to honor my commitment to the retailer and go and finish the event. He said, absolutely, that'll be your last exchange with our organization. I said, no problem. So I went and honored my event. And as I was walking into the parking lot, another representative came out, met me in the parking lot, and said, wow, I heard you turned down the job to be the sales manager for the company. Like, that news traveled quick because I had this conversation at about 4 p.m, and it's now 5:30, right? Like, and no one knew but the owner, me, and at the time now, my ex-wife. So he said, yeah, I was the one that was going to take your position. as a sales rep, and you were supposed to be my boss. So obviously they had communicated to him what took place. So I went and did my event. So I had, the one brand on Friday, AJ Fernandez, that I was let go from. Over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I had 0 brands, right? It didn't work for anybody. Monday morning, my phone started ringing with other companies that wanted a representative like me to cover their product. But at that point, I wasn't going to go to work directly with any one organization. I was going to go to work for myself and build my own book of business. And that's exactly what I did. So I went from 1 to 0 to 4 in the matter of about 3 days. Now, the difference is truly becoming, successful and being out on the road, and what we do as cigar reps. It's not easy. I don't envy anyone that does what I do. Just simply and again, it doesn't necessarily have to be cigars. Anything you sell away from home, traveling, it's time away from your family. You don't sleep in your own bed. You're in a hotel. You're in a car. You're eating out of a styrofoam container. I mean, road life is not easy. Not everyone's built for it.
I did it for years. I traveled for seven years. I'd fly out on a Tuesday, get home Friday night.
Yeah, and I did it for 3 years doing that. So with different companies.
So you basically went from being an FTE with salary and benefits to a 1099 with nothing, just commission, 100%. Just straight up commission. You don't sell, you don't eat.
100%. And that's when it got a little fun, right? So you're out on the road.
That's not the word I would have. I engaged services. I was in the medical products for years, Jeff, and I used an awful lot of 1099s. And I have the utmost respect for people who make a lifestyle. And if you do it well, you do phenomenal. I mean, you set your hours, you work your ass off, and you make a great living. But people don't see those 24-hour day and weekends, and it's all you.
100%. Yeah. And that's all I got. That's all I have to give, right? I tell everybody when they ask me about the cigar, I don't take the little grain of salt seed and plant it in the ground. I don't grow it. I don't pick it. I don't age it. I don't store it. I don't roll it. I don't box it. I don't band it. I don't ship it. I don't even process their credit cards. I don't do any of that. That's all done behind closed doors by the magic Keebler elves, right? Other people do all those things.
But if they have a problem or a question with shipping and billing, whatever, you're the front man, and you have to get in touch and you follow up. So your customer service.
100%. Yeah. Just dealt with one of those right before this phone call, and it wasn't a fun one, but we got it.
So how many lines are you currently carrying now?
So I have 6 cigar brands and an accessories company. So I work with the folks at Aganorsa, the cigars that you're smoking today.
Right.
I work with the folks at Christoph, Dominican Republic, buddy Glenn Case. I have the Leaf by Oscar Valaderas out of Honduras, and all the lovely Oscar products.
I love Leaf by Oscar. Yeah. I love Leaf by Oscar.
Absolutely. And him and Jim Robinson is a great dude. And I love those guys. And look, I have Ernie, my next company, EPC, Ernesto Perez Carrillo, who's been in the game a long time. His son is calling me right now. Let me tell him. I'll text him. Call him back. Okay. So EPC, the original maker of La Gloria Cubana, he sold his brand, made himself a bunch of money, took a break, tells the story that he had enough money to live off for the rest of his life, but he figured out he hated playing golf and hated fishing. So he went back to what he knew, and that was making cigars, and he came right back out of the box and kicking butt and taking names.
Yes, he is.
I do a flavored company called Blue Mountain Cigars. They focus on liquor cigars. We have a Blanton cigar, we have a Brown Royal Black, we have a Brown Royal Apple, Crown Vanilla, we have a Zacapa Rum. Not personally what I do well as far as my palate, but they sell. Drew Estates built a big business, through acid and all those companies. Plus, they have other great traditional cigars as well. And then I have a young man out of South Florida. His name is Nick Fusco. His brand's called El Mago. El Mago is the name M-A-G-O. Maria and Gonzalo were his grandparents. Unfortunately, they passed away about 3.5 years ago when one of those buildings collapsed in Surfside, Miami.
Yeah.
And this young man at 23 years of age, not from the cigar industry, he's not a Fuente, he's not a Padron, he wasn't born into this business, and he smoked cigars with his grandpa every day. Probably a little under the age he should have been, 16. He was a baseball kid, but every day he'd go from his house to the ball field, and in the morning, the Cuban family, you'd have a cafecito and a little cigar with Pepe, hence his grandpa. And this young man told his story through the cigar brands and made made a wonderful company at 23 years of age, not from the industry, which is really, in my opinion, truly impressive. And,
and it's a great smoke.
And great cigars, absolutely. At this point, you got to come to market with a great cigar. You're not going to last very long, that's for sure. And lastly, my accessories company is a company by the name of Visol, VISOL, and their claim to fame is, most companies just sell lighters and cutters. They actually, like we do for Canada, lovely ash and ale in Palm Coast, Florida. Stop by and visit. We do some lighters.
How much did he pay you to plug this?
I had to buy a shitload of stuff.
Honest to God, man. You're a shill.
Well, actually, that's funny because I actually called Jeff up on Friday and literally placed orders from 3 or 4 of his different companies. So,
all right, that's funny.
But they logo everything: ashtrays, lighters, cutters, humidors. Right. So instead of just having a lighter, it'll have Ken's store name on the. So it's like a functioning business card that you can cut a cigar with. Right?
Got it. All right. Now, the years you've been independent repping in the industry, and I'm speaking from obviously my industry. It's not an uncommon thing that an independent representative or an independent rep will build up a territory, reach a certain value of sale revenue. Then the company goes, we're hiring reps and we're going to take that business and cut you the hell out. Is that a common thing in the cigar industry as well?
It happens. Yes, sir. It sure does.
Your job is to build my business. And when I'm ready to eviscerate you, I will, because I can now afford my direct sales reps.
That's right. My buddy says it's the law of the samurai. You work your whole life to ultimately kill yourself.
That was my concern for you when I heard independent repping. I'm going, man, has that happened to you yet?
Yeah. I mean, so it only happened a couple of times in the industry for me, fortunately. But one of them led me to the Leaf by Oscar. Jim Robinson, his product. A company went in-house, and Jim had been after me for a little while to represent the Leaf. It was brand new, and I was just so busy I couldn't add more to my plate. And when I lost the line, Jim found out, and he called me up and said, listen, can you take my product now? I heard you lost a brand. Again, it was in a very short period of time. So when, there's a joke that if you sneeze on the East Coast, they say bless you on the West Coast. That's how small. That's how small the cigar industry is. But he knew within a couple of days, again, when not a lot of people knew. And at that point, I was like, sure, Jim, I'll sell your product, man. Send me some samples on a price sheet. And it just took off. I mean, they did a really good job.
In your industry, are you seeing more companies? I mean, there's a vast number of cigar companies out there. I mean, they're out there. Are you seeing more companies going with independent representation like what you provide? Or are you seeing more direct hire? I mean, what's the evolution occurring with these companies that you see 5 years from now? Are you going to see more independence out there or not?
Again, that one is a little tough. Someone actually asked me this the other day, and I didn't have again, just like you gentlemen, I don't have what I feel is the right answer as of yet. There are companies that definitely have in-house, but then all of a sudden, I hear about a territory where the guy managed this company, territory manager, if you will, and they got let go. But now one of the independents in that state picked that lineup. So it's a hard thing to,
Yeah, the reason I ask, and I apologize again, because the only thing I can really compare it to is my prior career. When a medical product or device or something in my industry would have been founded, we would have strong financial backing. We would have investors. We would start it off millions.
Hold on, you're breaking up, Jim.
No, I hate that.
No, you're good. You're back.
You got me now?
Back.
All right.
Yeah.
We would have strong financial backing, and we would be backed by angel investors of kind, and we had enough money in the budget to directly hire our own personnel. It strikes me that in the cigar industry, there's a lot of mom and dad family starts, and outside investors maybe not so much. So they're kind of bootstrapping the cigar business for themselves. And I would think anybody that bootstraps would want to go with the commission structure on an independent rep more so. That's why I ask. It seems the cigar industry is a lot more small companies than behemoths. Is that wrong, right?
No, I'd say you're correct. And a lot of times, but what will happen, and this is happened to me as well, instead of you getting replaced with your job in your territory, if the company that you work for sells to a big conglomerate, now all of a sudden they already had their built-in sales force. So it's not like you got let go or you did so, whatever you want to call it, but it just went up under another company's umbrella and they already had a built-in sales force.
Yeah, Scandinavian group, eyes your eyes. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right.
I do have a question for you, Jeff. What is your territory, and how do territories get set between reps and districts and all of that, so that folks out there know the differences and why people talk about different reps around the country? Like, do you have the whole country on all of those? Do you have just part of it?
Right. So my brands I have for the state of Florida, Mississippi, and Louisiana. And people always say, well, what about Alabama? You kind of go right through there. There's but that actually is covered. Alabama is typically covered by the men and women that cover the Georgia market. So again, when I was working with AJ Fernandez, San Latano, back in the day, my boss, whenever I started doing well here in the state of Florida, I guess we had someone in Texas working, but they didn't have anybody that covered Mississippi and Louisiana. Of course, I was on their credit card, and my boss said, "Listen, just hop on a plane, rent a car, do what you got to do, and go build that territory." It's like, again, you don't have to go there so much. Like in Florida, I mean, you look at Mississippi and Louisiana. I fly in Fort Lauderdale, land in New Orleans, or I guess Kenner, the airport there, and it's even when I fly in, I rent a car and I put about 1,600 miles on a rental car in 5 days, and I fly back home on the sixth day. So, every day you're putting a good 300 miles on a car. By about the third day, you're ready just to hop on a plane and fly back home. Right? So what I'm saying is, and there's, I think it's an 800-mile radius, that territory, all of I-10 up to 20 back to 55, and 55 back down to Biloxi, and then over to New Orleans. There's more accounts in Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete, which is a 35-mile radius, than there is in all of Mississippi and Louisiana. So again, time is money, but it's still important to get up there. So I'm typically there. I try to be once a quarter, but because of our trade show, the PCA, which is actually coming up at the end of next week, has been.
Are you going? Will you be going to PCA?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
I would certainly think you should. Hell yeah, go. That's why
it's our Super Bowl, and oddly enough, it's in my territory, so I have a lot of accounts that normally may not take a smaller retail shop doesn't necessarily always want to take their money, time, effort, and energy to go to Las Vegas. It's very expensive, but they'll drive into New Orleans, and that's a good thing for me. It keeps me busy, but I'll have two other people work with me while I'm there as well.
I was going to ask you, do you have sub reps?
So along the way in the past, I have my good buddy Roger, for many years in the Tampa market, retired military and ex-DEA out of Cincinnati. Great guy. He worked with me a few days out of the week, but God bless him. He took a vacation to Colombia, found the woman of his dreams, and never came back. So
good for him.
No, he'll be back. It just takes a while. Trust me.
I had a young lady by the name of Daphne work with me. She lived on Red Road in between Dade and Broward, which was a great setup for her and me. And again, that young lady smokes heavier cigars than I do. But I would always see her at accounts when I travel, especially later in the day, and she has a regular 9-to-5 job. But after seeing her account after account after account, and especially on a Friday, because I think she only worked at 1.4 days out of the week, and Friday she was completely open. So we kind of worked part-time together. But she met my buddy Troy. They became romantically involved, and now she has a couple twins. So that kind of got her off of the road with me back a few years back. So I've
Are you still speaking to Troy?
Yeah. Troy's a good dude. But it's one of those things that it's hard to put your baby in someone else's hands and give them free will to go and raise them the way you would want to rear your own child.
Right.
With that being said, with having those reps and then having your own company and all, there are just in this industry, being a small mom and pop, as we were talking about, and dealing with more of the older, our guys' age, 50s and above, because that's who basically owns these cigar shops now. I'm still from the food and beverage industry, where I'm used to seeing a rep, and I like seeing a rep. To me, it's reassuring that someone actually gives a shit. And having someone like Jeff at my disposal, where I can text, phone call, email, and get an answer very promptly, is paramount for me, because he's got I actually sell 3 or 4 of his lines. And for me to get an order, I have to have trust that this is going to happen. So for us, having someone like Jeff, who may be one of the best in his industry in this market, and maybe across the country with his reputation that he's got, throughout the industry is unbelievable for someone like us. And having Jim Robinson up the road from me just 30 minutes is even better because I get to see him more because he spends time there. So he has to
100%.
pass me to get to him. So for me, I'm in a win-win situation having someone who's so good at their job and who's also so close to one of his distributors.
Right.
So
100%. Yeah, you're in a good territory. Good area.
I am. And
No.
you guys, a lot of you have seen my shop. You've watched Pulpit Fest. Many of you have even been to the shop now. So having people like Jeff and there's other reps out there that unfortunately you grade against each other. And that helps you to determine what you're going to be carrying and how much of that you're going to be carrying. So it's just human nature. And that's why Jeff is on this call right now, because he's one of the people I trust the most. I've got 2 or 3 other reps that are brokers or distributors that I trust extremely well. But there's others that I have a lack of some confidence in that I know I'm going to get the right thing on the first time. So for me, Jeff is paramount in this industry. And I know other people who feel the same way because when we meet them in different shows or go to their shops and we start talking, and for bar none, his name comes up every time. So that's why we wanted to introduce you to him as well. So you can see that pretty smiling face and everything. So
well, first, don't listen to all those people, Ken. They obviously drink way too much too early in the day.
So do I. So what's the difference?
and again, credit where credit's due. Let's not forget your last order. I think I rang in the wrong product and sent you 2 items that I must just click the wrong one in the system. So I have my flaws like everybody, man.
Everyone's human, and I have no problem with mistakes as long as people own them and make good on them. That's my challenge. In this industry, we're going to make mistakes. We have that opportunity because there's so many different SKUs that we're dealing with. It's going to happen. You actually handle it. So you got me my product I needed the next day. So it wasn't that big a deal. So
quick and easy.
It's the recovery period and the dedication on your part to make that happen that makes us all feel comfortable.
Yeah, let me put in perspective for you two. You make a mistake, Jeff, nobody dies.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's the whole point of our industry.
My industry, you made a mistake. Yeah, it could be not good. So
yeah.
So, question for you. So, if a shop like Ken's has an event, do you constantly find yourselves doing like pop-up display events and whatnot, or is that you telling your company, your manufacturers, or the cigar guys, that they send one of their employees? Do you do the events yourself, or do your cigar company send people? How does that work?
So generally, it's always me.
Right.
There are a few times where, let's say, we're double booked, if you will, or if one of the sales managers from one of the companies happens to be going through to a location along the way and mentioned doing a get together, and again, some things kind of get lost in translation sometime. Oh, are you going to be able to do this event on such and such a date? And then I had no idea this was happening, right? I'm already slated to be here instead. They'll try to okay, well, I'm the one that spoke about it. Let me cover this one, Jeff, and you go do what you have to do. But 95% of the time, maybe more, I don't know the exact numbers, maybe 98% of the time, it's always me.
But they provide you product and supplies. You don't pay out of pocket for the marketing material and product. That's because some industries you do. Some industries you actually take license of the product, and it's up to you to purchase to put out. And that's why I was worried about that. All right, good.
Jeff also helps the industry out too, because sometimes he does know when you have someone riding with you, one of the owners of the companies or one of the senior people from the company are riding, and he'll say, I'm going to have someone with me. Are you going to be by the shop so I can introduce you? So that also is a great benefit for the people who are in his territory, because when those guys go ride with him, we actually have the opportunity to face with the manufacturer or the president of a company or something like that, which we typically wouldn't because of him being a rep sponsoring an independent broker sponsoring his lines. We would never have that opportunity unless we go to a show or that kind of situation happens for us.
All right.
Yes. And
so here.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought, and then I've got one.
I was just going to say there's events like the one, usually it's at the Hard Rock. I think they call it the Big Smoke. But that one's done by Cigar Aficionado. That's not a sales scenario, right? People buy a ticket and they get their cigars and whiskey and all of that. those events, unless they really, really need me to cover that type of event, they would send somebody from the company directly to do that. Because again, there's nothing for me to sell there. It's just a face, and the face they usually want to see is
individuals.
Right. I sell to retail shops.
Yeah.
Like the one located in
Don't even.
Florida.
Okay, Jeff. Here's a left field question. When you were in school, when you were in high school or college, what did you want to be when you grow up, and what happened?
Actually,
I guarantee you, when you're in high school and you're like, when I grow up, I want to sell cigars.
No, sir, that wasn't even a blip on the radar for me. Actually, I went to school to become a plastic surgeon. I figured out by the end of the day how long I'd be in school, how much I'd actually have coming out of my pocket. Now, did I choose correct? I guess time will tell.
You'd still be paying off those loans.
I'd probably still be in school. But
you would just be one of 1,750 boob guys in the Miami-Dade area.
No doubt. I
do have a
better than hanging out with boobs all day and making money at the same time. I'm like, hey, this is not bad.
I was going to say, it sounds pretty sweet compared to the cigar selling, doesn't it? Right, go on.
Anyway, how did you get hooked up with AJ to get your first job?
That's where I was going with this. How in the hell did you get into the industry? Yeah,
no problem. So, buddy of mine, Scott Weeks, God bless him, up in Carolinas. He's his family's generational. His grandfather, father, and my buddy Scott. I think they had the original contract with Zippo since like the 1940s. They've been in the business a long time, Tobacco Road, if you will, in Carolina. So, I mean, they went through all the Philip Morris cigarettes, cigars. I mean, I think his dad, the granddad, had his name was Buddy Weeks. His father was Nick Weeks. My friend is Scott Weeks. The generations of those gentlemen, but his grandfather was an independent with Fuente. And I believe his dad was actually an independent with Davidoff. So they were a set of brokers as well. And my, again, now ex-wife, Scott's now ex-wife, Kelly, they went to high school together. And I met Scott years back down here in South Florida. And he was always trying to get me to get into the cigar industry, believe it or not, coming from the industry that I was in. He wanted me to move up to the Carolinas. I had a wife and a little kid. I don't want to uproot my life. But he really let me know, that he felt like my talents were being wasted a little too much. I sold health and life insurance. And again, I had 125 employees at our office in Sunrise, Florida. You're better off in cigars. Yes, sir. We had 4 downlines in Miami with about 60 men and women in each room. So I got to the point where I started an industry that I really liked, and then ultimately became a adult babysitter. So okay.
I just have a correlation. So you got to see how small this family is, because first, with these folks who got you into the industry and your wife and ex-wives and all of that, it's a very small industry. And then it went down and you hired someone, found friends, brought them in, and then brought them back out. So this is really a kind of a passion of love type thing once you get into it sounds like, because people will just keep recommending you if you're good at what you do, that you're gonna maintain and thrive.
It's like the cigar industry is like the mafia. You got to know someone to get in, and when you're in, you can't get out.
Get out.
There's only one way out, right? So ultimately, my buddy called me up on a Tuesday, and he said, "Hey, I got a question for you. Call me at lunch." And so I called him up, said, "Hey, what's going on?" He said, "Listen, a brand down in South Florida had a set of in-house reps." And he goes, "But they're looking to hire someone. They're located in Sunrise at their corporate office, and I want to find out if you can go and sit and have a conversation with the owner of the company." And I said, "Oh, geez. I mean, I'm not looking to leave the industry that I'm in. I know we've kind of talked about it over the years, but when are we talking about this happening? He goes, "Tuesday afternoon, lunchtime." I'm sorry, Thursday afternoon, lunchtime. I said, "This coming Thursday, like in 2 days from now?" He said, "Yeah." He goes, I guess it was so far back, maybe Matt Quest did it, right? It's like, they're like 4 miles from your office. Just, if you could take a lunch break, go say hello. Don't stand the guy up and make me look like an idiot. Just go have a cigar and a coffee with him and see where it goes. So I did just that. I took my lunch break and drove to the office and had a coffee and a cigar. And at the time, the guy's name was Chris. Chris asked me to, he said, "Well, we leave this weekend to go to our big sales meeting in Las Vegas. and want to find out if on Saturday you can hop on a flight. We'll pay for everything and we'll give you a working interview. And you'll be gone for, it's 3.5 days, but if you go out straight 3 days, and let's see how it goes for everybody. Okay, Chris, hang on one second. I just got a phone call on Tuesday to come meet you today on a Thursday, and then 2 more days on Saturday. You want me to get on a plane to go to Las Vegas to go to work for 3 days to see if I'm good at this type of job? He said, if you can, sure. Oh boy, okay. Give me a minute. Let me let all this kind of sink in, and let me go home and talk to my wife and have a little baby in a stroller. Figure, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? So I did, and of course, once I made my decision, very quickly, I had time built up with my company. I said, listen, it was short notice, but I need Monday off. I go figure at this point, probably flying back late. Let's go ahead and make it Tuesday. I need Monday and Tuesday off. So they gave me the Monday and Tuesday off, but I went out and I sold. And I sold very, very well. Fortunately, I just used 9 times out of 10, if you talk to somebody and ask the right questions, they'll give you the reason to sell them something. And I was fortunate enough to understand that process. A gentleman walked up to our booth. And at that time, even though I was assigned to the state of Florida, these gentlemen had a badge from Pennsylvania with a cigar company. And they're like, oh my God, we've been looking for you. We bought your product. We bought 30 boxes. We have 5, 6 stores, whatever they had, and we sold out in just a few weeks. And we don't know who to call to get more. We call the office, and no one really picked up the phone at the time. We'd like to buy some product from you. I said, sure, sounds great. I think we had like whatever this deal was, 10 and 1, 20 and 3, 50 and 10, whatever it was. So he's like, yeah, why don't we'll do a 20-box deal, Okay, here's a couple of cigars, here's a price sheet. And actually, I went back over to my boss. I said, well, who covers Pennsylvania? He said, we're looking for somebody now. Go handle the deal. So that's when I went back and, okay, I'm going to handle your deal until we get somebody in Pennsylvania, but Jeff Gruber and blah, blah, blah. So they went ahead, okay, we'll do the 23 deal. And I said, wait a minute. I said, you just told me you bought like 30 boxes between your 5 or 6 stores and sold out in a couple of weeks. I said, if you buy 23 boxes, these things are going to last you 10 days, 2 weeks if you're lucky. I said, then what? You're going to try to call our warehouse and no one picks up the phone? I go, we have a 50 and 10 deal. And the guy looked at me, he goes, we weren't budgeted for that. We don't own the company. Our boss does. Okay, we'll call him. Right? So the guy, he picked up the phone and no one answered. He goes, we got to give me some time. They left. I said, okay. So they walked away. My boss came over. He goes, hey, what happened with that transaction? I told him the story. And he goes, well, you didn't want to just write them up for the 20 and 3 and take the order? I said, no. I said, I truly feel that if they sold out of 30 boxes pretty quickly, then they probably need 60 until everything gets leveled out, right? And it's a better deal for them anyways. With their boss going to be upset, he's making better margin and they don't run out of product. So he goes, do you think they'll do it? I said, time will tell, right? We're just, it's day one.
What the hell do I know? I'm new to this.
Yeah.
You just invited me.
we saw him walk back and forth a few times, and I said, anything? Nah, I can't get a hold of him. We'll have an answer for you tomorrow. And the boss still wasn't really happy with me that I kind of let the deal walk. But I'll explain what I was able to use in that. So I said, what do we have above a 50 and 10 deal? Like, can we double that? What if it's a 100-box deal? And he goes, if you think you can get them to talk about a 100-box deal and they come back, you sit them down with me and AJ, and we'll sit and talk to them at these two nice couches. And okay, so the guy came back the next morning, bright, shiny, happy. And hey, my boss gave us the okay to do the 50 and 10 deal. I said, well, your boss probably isn't going to be happy. He goes, why would you say that? We can't get the deal. I said, of course you can. I said, but I had the conversation with my boss and they want to talk to you about a 100-box deal. And the guy goes, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, you might want to get your boss on the phone. There's the owners right there. And they sat down and they ended up doing a 100-box deal. So that was a good thing for me. The portion that I used in all of this was our very first interaction the rest of the day 1 and day 2 and day 3. People came up, oh, I never heard of your company before. I said, well, yeah, have you heard of these guys out of Pennsylvania? They have like 6 stores. Yeah, they're huge. Okay, great. I said, well, these guys bought 30 boxes, sold out in 2 weeks, tried to buy from me yesterday, but they're back talking to their boss trying to buy 50 boxes. I should have an answer tomorrow. They really buy that many from you? They did from somebody. They're like, you know what? Yeah, let me give me a cigar. What you got a 10 and 1, right? Yeah, I could do a 10 and 1. I could try it out myself. That's not a big deal. I was able to use that little bit of information to build myself a pitch, if you will, right? So that's kind of how I got started in the business. I'll never forget AJ Fernandez. about day 3, when everything was going really well, and I had a few $100 deals, AJ looked at me and put his hand out and smiled, and he goes, "You sales good." And I'm like, looked at the guy beside me. Is he asking me, or did he tell me? He goes, I don't know. It didn't really come across as a question. Was he asking me, was I doing good? Did he tell me I was doing good? But he was smiling, so I figured nothing, and he shook my hand. So I figured things were going well. And that's when I came back home, and they offered me a contract to lead the industry that I was in. And ultimately, that's when I went to work for AJ as an in-house rep. And I was with them for almost 2 years.
Did you smoke cigars prior to coming into the industry?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, again, just wanted to check.
But I'm not the guy that smokes, 3, 4, 5 cigars a day, or the woman that smokes 3, 4, 5 cigars a day. God bless you, and I love you, and you're my greatest. I'm your greatest fan, right? But I'm the guy at the end of the day, and that was actually kind of the joke in the beginning, because I would come to account after account, and I wouldn't sit and smoke a cigar with most of the retailers. And for a while there, they're like, "Oh, you're the cigar rep in the industry that doesn't smoke cigars." And I'm like, "Who told you that?" They're like, "Well, I was with this guy. He said, you've been to this store 10 times. You never smoked a cigar with him." I'm like, "How quick do you smoke a cigar? Because it takes me a while. I want to sit down for an hour and a half, 2 hours. I want to relax. They're like, "Yeah, that's what we do." I go, "Okay, well, how many accounts do you see in a day?" "Oh, like 4? Oh, yeah, I see 8. Right? I can't smoke. So I don't smoke just to smoke. I smoke when I can sit, relax, and enjoy myself. And really, to me, what a cigar is supposed to be, an experience, a little mini vacation, a break from your day, my mental release, my me time, right? And if I'm just working to work and smoking to smoke, it's taking a lot of that the romantic side of it away from me. And I don't, personally, that doesn't make me happy, right? And so, again, I also don't work retail, where I'm sitting in lovely Palm Coast, Florida at Ash and Ale, and I'm able to sit. Go ahead, Jim. Say what you're going to say, brother.
Nah, never mind.
So I'm not able to, sit and kind of, I know you do a lot, Ken, don't get me wrong, but I'm mobile. I'm in and out of my car all day, moving transit. But, if I was at the shop just chilling with my buddies and stocking my shelves and watching I could probably sit and relax and enjoy my cigar more, right? Now, on some of my drives, absolutely. I got a 3-hour drive home from, Ocala to my house. Yeah, windows down, and I'm smoking a cigar, man. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm at home, I'm on my lanai in the backyard, enjoying a cigar. That's my me time.
If you were driving home from Palm Coast,
I changed it up on purpose, just for you.
That's probably 2 cigars worth of a drive.
Holy shit, I just spent time with Ken. This is killing me. I need a double.
I need a drink. All right. Well, Jeff, we've taken enough of your time, probably. I really appreciate you joining us on this thing.
I appreciate you, gentlemen.
Let me interject one thing, Jim, before.
Go on. No,
Jeff, is there anything else you want to tell us about the industry that you think the folks out here would like to hear? Not some of that. Some of our folks are not so smart. Some are pretty good, but there's got to be something out there that you can throw a word of wisdom to.
Well, the one thing I always just say in general, and I won't get on a soapbox and go crazy, but we're not the bad guys, right? Like we're meant to enjoy and relax and hang out and have fun. And the reason I say we're not the bad guys, I jokingly mentioned the word mafia earlier. Typically in the movie, who's the one always smoking the cigar in the movie? It's
mafioso.
It's always the bad guy or the bagger, right? So again, you go to places, you light a cigar and people are waving their hand and choking and we're all outdoors. You're like, really? Come on, right? Yeah. But if you look at it, you have a baby, what do? You smoke a cigar in celebration. You win a championship. Hey, finals are going to be on in basketball, right?
Yep.
Get up on the table and smoke a cigar right in the stadium. No one's going to say anything. You know what I mean? You just won the national championship. We are meant to be celebratory. We're not the bad guys, right? And so I know we're a small industry and it's easy for big groups to come at us, and thank goodness we're in the state of Florida. We have a lot more leniency than most in some other parts of the country and world. So I'm thankful for where I live, and I'm just thankful that I have manufacturers that believe in me to take their product and go do what I do. And I'm even more blessed to have great retailers like Ken who support me as well.
Like Ash and Ale in Palm Coast, Florida.
That's it, baby.
Jeff, we want to thank you very much for taking time out of your day, even though you're feeling bad to boot, and we really appreciate it. And I'm sure the listeners here too got a little better insight of what you do and the differences between you and other people out there. So thank you again for taking the time.
Truly my pleasure, John. Keep up the great work, and
nice meeting you
in the future. Jim, same here, sir. Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Bye, gentlemen.
Bye now. Well, that was good.
Yeah.
You did a real interview. This is good.
I did homework.
How's your cigar going here?
My cigar is actually going well. I just kind of, without lack of a better word, I kind of fucked up a little bit when I was not paying attention. I went to ash my cigar and dropped it. So that's why you just saw me relighting it.
All right. Yeah, I'm sitting out here in a wind tunnel and it's maintaining itself pretty well. So I'm enjoying this thing. It's a nice mild smoke this afternoon. So
are you past the first third?
yeah, I'm like down to about that much. Yeah, I'm halfish. Yeah, I'm past the first half. Yeah.
This is a really nice smoke. I'm not sure. I'm sure I know you've tried one because when you were down here last year, this is one of the ones I always give to folks because it's one of my favorites.
I like Agnorsa.
Yeah,
it's a good brand. He carries some good brands. I was impressed. That's a hard job he does. Being a 1099 is hard as hell.
Yes, it is.
You can't sit on your butt and expect a paycheck. So that's a road that a lot of people aren't willing to plow. But
so,
all right, what else you got, Ken? Anything you want to touch on? You want to move on?
Something we've got somewhat of a guideline that we're working with today, and let's stay within that, and then at the very end, if we have any kind of pop-ups, we'll go with that because I like what you have set up for us. So,
all right. Well, these people have been patient with us almost going on an hour now. I don't want to keep them all day, but we'll keep moving. Is there anything, because you and I had talked about reps and customer etiquette and things like that. Is there any, and I meant to ask you, how much do reps interface with customers, like in your shop? When a rep comes into your shop, do you find your customers approaching them, or do you find the reps approaching the customers, and does that interfere with you doing business with the rep, or how does that work?
I think that's a really good question, and truthfully, it's both. When a rep walks into the business and people see them, and I've got customers in, everyone's always asking, "You got a free cigar? You got this?
Give me a sample." Right.
Give me a sample. And then the reps, if they're a good rep, they always look to the establishment's owner and says, "Are you good with this? Because I don't want to take revenue away from you."
Right.
So again, it's an etiquette thing, and I think for the most part, most reps have got that industry etiquette down. I really wish I could train some of the clients that come in and visit us and participate at our stores to understand some etiquette as well. Because as he said, he's in and out usually in 30 minutes. We can do our whole pitch where I have other reps that will sit, like he said, and they'll smoke a cigar, maybe two. And it's a totally different environment and a totally different time frame that we have to deal with. I'm on a limited time frame with him, so I need to spend as much time with him as possible. So for the etiquette on that, it's a give and take situation because my customer is a paying person who keeps my store open. But you have to understand, when business is being done, I don't go into your business and take abundance of your time. It's just a common courtesy that you just got to be careful of how you do things.
Yeah, and some I don't know how you say this and not sound like an asshole.
Well,
I remember on one episode of the Cigar Authority, Dave was talking about firing customers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm being judgy here. There's no doubt when you have an establishment like yours that there are people when they walk in, you kind of go, ugh. And they're a customer, they may be a member, but you just kind of cringe.
Definitely.
And I'm curious, how do you maintain control over these people without, I guess, without necessarily firing them, but putting a hand on the small of their back and walking them to the door?
You've worked with me for a long time, and you know that I'm fairly even-tempered and mild and kind of more of a pacifist than a
more so than me. Yes.
Yes. I have a different way of doing things. I give everyone a 2, maybe a 3 strike rule, depending on how well they are with other customers, with how they are with the store, and truthfully, how much they spend in the store. I mean, it's still, granted, if I have someone who's bad, I have to give some leniency. But I've blackballed 4 people from my store, won't let them back in. But they were people who would come in, buy one cigar, they don't do anything, they sit around, talk shit with other people and just start annoying people. And
Yeah.
those are easy fixes. You just get them up when they're done and you walk out the back door or front door with them and say, hey, I appreciate you coming in, but you cause way too many issues and my folks just really aren't enjoying it. I appreciate it if you just don't come back. It's not an easy thing to do. I don't ever want to throw away something that's given to me without me having to do anything, but
Right.
it's for the betterment of the establishment and for the people that come in here. And
Yeah.
then you have people who come in and spend a ton of money and think they own and run everything and that they think that you have to cow down to them. And I was like, that's when there's certain ways of doing it that for me work. I don't know if it would work for everyone. But I also got into a situation where I had a luckiness. I had a person who worked for me, and I think most of you guys know him and seen him on the videos and all that, Monkey, who was extremely good at defusing situations. So most of those, when Monkey was working with me, and if the person happened to be there and things happened, I look at Monkey and he and I just worked so well together. All I had to do was give him a look and he knew exactly what I was thinking and he would take care of it. My challenge is if I get angry, I snap. And I promised myself when I got divorced to my kids, I told her I'll never raise my voice again. So I think I've done it twice here at the shop. And it seems to have been a great combination of having Monkey for me.
Monkey is intimidating.
Well, yes,
he's physically imposing.
Yes, he's the nicest guy in the world too, though, which makes it even harder for anyone else to even come back to.
Yeah, it's funny. He's not the way he looks. That's what I think I like about him.
Yeah, he's a Hispanic gentleman from Puerto Rico, very, very, very mellow, down to earth, and maybe the most knowledgeable person on most topics I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And as a salesperson, you don't find many better.
Now is he going to be back available around Pulpit Fest or not?
That's what we're working on right now.
Good.
He just started his gig back up in Boston, so he's gone for 7 months. I have asked him to come back and make sure if I can get him that he will be here for Pulpit Fest, and he is doing his darndest to be here.
Good.
So that'll be a win-win for all of us.
Nice. Yeah, I'd like to see him again. He's a nice guy. All right.
But unfortunately, you still have to keep some of those ones who you don't want around because of the cash flow, and they bring business in. Some of them run business off, some don't. Every store has 2 or 3 people that when people see, they go, okay, I'm not coming in or I'm coming in.
Right.
It is what it is. Unfortunately, you can't get rid of everyone because you still want to stay in business.
Understood. Yeah, I was just curious with reps coming in, if the reps find themselves being distracted.
They do. Quite a few of them do, yes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But while we're on this topic, there's other things. I mean, it's as we're talking about from my point of view, but as a customer, there's etiquette that the customer should follow as well, where I've got to behave on my side. Customers should understand etiquette within a store because most people who go to a cigar lounge are there for the same reason. They don't want to be annoyed. They want to be there exactly like Jeff said, and we've talked about them hundreds of times on this show. Right. People use cigars as their kind of midday vacation. And there's certain things you don't do. You don't talk politics. You don't talk religion. You don't get in the middle of someone else's conversation and try to interject yourself. There's just things you want to do. You don't ash on the table. You put it in the ashtray. It's the common courtesies that are the things that most people look at. And when you don't do those, it's funny how other people look at you for it. Right. So I'm sure you've been to a cigar lounge where people come in and just kind of not raised hell, but they have not played within the rules, and you can pick them out very quickly because everyone's playing by the same rules. And when something doesn't follow that, it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Right. Yeah. And at the same time, there's a cigar lounge not far from here that I won't go to, that I went a few times. You just don't feel welcome. You walk in there and the proprietor just kind of like is standing behind the counter waiting to ring you up. The guy sitting over there talking, they're not inviting anybody in on the conversation. You can sit against that wall and you might as well be down the block. And you just go, all right, to hell with all y'all.
Yeah, there's other
Yeah.
cigar lounges, and
Yeah,
I think
right.
our folks, and you've met quite a few of my regulars now, and I've got a crew that's extremely good at welcoming everybody into the mix, getting you well comfortable, inviting you in, buying you a cigar even. We've got a lot of folks who'll do that, and it's just we have a really good situation where we're at right now.
Because
So
we're mostly old, lonely people who have no friends. So any chance they get to talk to someone, they will. That's what you
it's
got there.
exactly, and that's why I started working here because I needed to meet people when I moved here.
You had no friends.
I had
Let's
no
open a
friends.
cigar shop.
I moved from Georgia to Florida. I had no friends. I
I had
needed
no
to meet
friends.
people. Where else is a better place?
Understand that. That's funny. All right,
So,
that's good.
I
All right,
mean,
well,
that's how you and I basically became.
yeah,
We worked together, but this is how we became friends.
that's right, because we had no other friend.
Right. So,
That makes it sad. That's sad.
holy shit, we just went full circle. Wow.
Yeah, I know. We did. We did. Now I'm bummed. Oh God.
Oh, okay.
All
On a
right.
better note.
We're going to do a hard transition here. I'm going to go back and remind anybody who listened to this is a new topic. Listen to my episode. I guess it would have been last June, where I talked about retirement and being old and going to the doctor, and they do that your annual Medicare
Yes.
exam. I had that about a week and a half ago, and I survived it. That whole bullshit about the cognitive test, we did it again, where the nurse comes in and you sit down. The first thing she does is she gives you 3 words to remember. And then she does the other questions like, do you feel safe at home? And blah, blah. Do you feel like you've got a lack of food? Are you insecure about your situation? And the 3 words this year was baby, kitchen, and village. Okay. So we finish all this. She takes my blood pressure and it was fine. And so what was the 3 words I gave? I said, what's pathetic is you just gave me those words like minutes ago and you can't remember them. I have to remind you what these words were. And she just looked at me. She didn't think that was funny. So I gave her the words. And I said, would you like me to tell you a small story that I could come up with that has baby,
Awesome.
kitchen, and village all in the story? I said, it could be kind of sick and morbid, but I could tell you that story. She goes, no, I don't need to hear any stories. And oh, come on. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. I passed.
She didn't like that either. So we're wrapping up. She goes, okay, well, that's it. I said, wait a minute. I said, don't I have to draw a clock? She goes, no. I said, what do you mean, no? I said, I've been studying hours on a clock for the last 3 days. I said, I'm ready. I said, I've memorized clocks. She goes, no, you're fine. And she walked out and the doctor walked in. And he said, what did you say to her? I said, what did she say? You just wish me luck. It's like, all right, we're good. So
that kind of is reminiscent of our first 2 conversations.
I love it. It was funny. It was a good visit, but along the lines of your quarry that you're developing, it reminded me. Talk briefly about getting older. This whole thing about getting older it dawned on me the other day. I'm driving home, and there was some guy did some asinine thing in a roundabout here, and I went nuts on the guy. I came home and told you that's a son of a bitch, and I realized that I'm probably
Your microphone's going out again.
all right. I'm back. You got it?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's the trouble with this. And it dawned on me that when I call to somebody old, I'm probably older than them, and it's weird being the same age as old people. But you're not that. It dawned on me the other day when you and I talked. You're only about 10 years behind me, because
Correct. Almost 10 years. Yeah, 10 years and a month.
yeah, there you go. So a lot of the shit that I joke about and talk about, you're not far from. You're gonna start getting it.
Well, I'm taking notes to see what I'm up for. So,
Well, you should. You're going to go to McDonald's and you're going to get a senior discount. You're going to, you son of a bitch, I'm not that old. And then the next time, a few years later, you go, hey, wait, where's my discount? Where's my 50-cent coffee, you little bastard? So you get accustomed to that. But are you at the point now where when you go to eat that you wrap that up and have to go to the bathroom pretty quickly afterwards? Have you hit that phase yet?
Sometimes, not all the time. There are times where if I drink like 3 glasses of water, because that's pretty much that, or scotch when I go out to eat, tequila, that I'll have to go. But that hits me more so at night than anything else, not during the day. But when I start to sit down and relax, if I'm out having a cigar, I feel like, okay, why am I going to the bathroom 2 or 3 times?
Yeah, there's a thing called gastrocolic reflex. And that's where when you're eating that your intestine detects that there's suggestion coming. And here, what is going on here? You got me?
Yeah, now you're back. Yeah.
I'm not moving anything.
I know. You may have a short in one of your your mic.
No, I don't. It's plugged. Gastrocolic reflex. It's where you eat in your stomach and then you get home and you have to shit right away. So you got that coming up. It's like my buddy said, I don't know why I go out to eat with my wife. Half the time the food doesn't go home with me. But you got that. The other thing is bad backs.
Shit.
Yeah, 46% of people over age 50 have a bad back. Have you've obviously had that already? Your back?
Well, you're talking about bad, and I'm sitting here with kidney stones right now. So, and I'm sitting in a chair with no back on it, and I'm dying. Yesterday was Easter, and we had about 20 family members over, and by 9 o'clock last night, I was in so much pain that I can barely move. I literally sat down. I looked at one of my wife's cousins and said, "Hey, it's cigar time. I've got to sit down." So I literally made him come with me. He smokes a cigar maybe once every 10 years.
Yeah.
And every time he comes down to the house, I make him smoke a cigar. And he's like, "Okay, you're killing my record." Now it's like twice a year I'm smoking, and I don't ever do that. I was like, "Well, you are today."
You are today. Well, the thing you did was smart, was move to Florida where most houses are you have a single story home.
I do have a single story home. Yes.
Yeah. See, a lot of people think people move to Florida for the weather. It's not. It's because they have a single story home. And when you get old, you don't want your bedroom upstairs because there's no way in hell you could go up the steps.
Or you don't want to because you have to get down and it's work.
It's impossible if your back is not entirely. So,
and I've got bad knees from when I was a kid. So that's one of the reasons. And I was raised in California in a single story home. My 2 houses in Tennessee were single story home. My house in Georgia was the only one that I bought that was a 2-story home.
Right.
And
you in a 2-story home, you need to have a basement because when you drop something and you're old, you start dropping shit more and it's harder to bend over. So what you can do is kick it to the edge of the steps, go to the basement, you go down 3 stairs and you can just reach straight out and pick it up. You don't have to worry about bending over. But you don't have that with a single story. But
you're not in Florida. You don't even get the damn basement.
Well, have you bought a pair of Skechers slip-ons yet? Those those hands-free Skechers.
Jim, you know the size foot I have. Are you asking me the question again? No, they don't make my size.
I'll bet they do. They make them. Tony Romo wears the damn things. I mean, those were invented for people with bad backs.
Yeah, unfortunately, no, I have not. I wear flip-flops 99% of the time.
All right.
So because of my feet in the hospitality industry, I've ruined my feet. But these flip-flops I wear are called OOFOS, OOFOS.
Yep.
And they're tremendous. They've saved my life. My back doesn't hurt anymore. I can go to Disney and walk all day and put 20,000 steps on it. And I'm like, okay, this is fine.
Okay, back up. You go to Disney?
Well, my wife and her 2 daughters are both Disney fanatics. So yes, I go at least twice a year.
All right. Well, we may need to revisit that then.
That's a whole different show.
That's a whole different show, isn't it?
And Nick will probably need to be on that one.
Yeah, Nick will be on that one. Yeah,
I know those stories.
He's a Disney guy, isn't he? Yeah, that's right.
He loves it.
That's fun. Oh shit! Now here's a public service announcement, PSA for you. Have you ever heard of wheeze honk? WHEEZE, wheeze honking?
No, I have not.
All right. Here's a public service announcement for anybody who lives around old people. Wheeze honking is what hippopotamuses do. A hippopotamus out in the wild, they make an obnoxious, loud noise that's heard for miles. And it's kind of like a kind of a noise. And when
never knew it had a name.
It's called wheeze honk.
Okay.
And when a hippopotamus wheeze honks, he's basically calling his group, his tribe. Well, if there's a regional area and another hippo that's not part of that group hears that wheeze honk, what that hippo does is it shits and urinates and spins its tail and flies that everywhere. And that's how it marks its territory. Okay, so other hippos smell that and go, okay, well, he's not part of us and we're not going over there. So wheeze honking induces that whatever. Here's my tip. If you go to some place where there's a lot of old people, like hotels, the villages, cruise ships, avoid the pools. When you see a lot of old people in the pool, there's a reason, is because a lot of times their backs hurt and they can't bend over to clean themselves after going to the bathroom. And they don't have tails to spin it off. So when you go to a pool with a whole lot of old population in the area and you see them hanging on to the side of the pool in front of the water jets, don't go in the water.
Jim, I'm going on a cruise in less than a month, and I'm going to sit there and think about this whole time.
If you go in the pool, go early in the morning before they finish breakfast, because 15 minutes. See how I'm tying this together?
I see how you're doing it.
The gastrocolic reflex kicks into old people. They change into their trunks, they go straight to the pool, and they cleanse themselves off. So now, you see a bunch of old people, wheeze honk at the old people in the food buffet line.
I want this sound clip because I'm sending it to all the cruise lines and tell them to put bidets in their damn bathrooms now.
Never go in the pool when there's old people hanging on the edges. Just saying.
Okay.
Right? There's your tip from your Uncle
More
Jim.
time in the cigar lounge it is.
There's your tip from your Uncle Jim. Now, moving on. The last time I was on a show with Nick, we were talking about all kinds of bullshit. And I got a message, a DM was sent to me by somebody in Canada that said I was kind of mean to these people in Canada because I made some observation about kicking their freaking asses in 3 different areas of the Olympics playing hockey.
Well, you had to bring it back up, didn't you?
I did. They're just lucky there's only those 3 opportunities.
Yeah.
Those 3 opportunities. So
what was the third one? Men's, women's, and then what?
Paralympics.
Oh, I didn't realize we took.
Oh, son, the men's Paralympic sled hockey team won their 5th in a row, 5th gold medal straight now. They beat Canada.
Wow.
So we got men's, women's, and the men's Paralympic sled hockey. Anyway, I felt bad. I felt as bad as I could feel, I guess. And to make it up, I want to.
You didn't lose sleep though, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I want to make it up, and I want to point out 3 things that are favorable and positive for Canada.
Oh no, that's snark. I remember that from working days.
Years ago, and Canada started a thing called bagged milk. Are you familiar with bagged milk?
I've heard of it, and when I was in Canada, I did see it. Yes.
In certain areas of Canada, mostly in the eastern areas, they sell milk in bags, in plastic bags. And they think it's brilliant. 75 to 85% of Ontario residents buy bagged milk rather than jugs and glass bottles and whatnot as we have in the States.
Cardboard boxes.
So they're proud of this innovation of putting milk in a bag. And I commend them for that. But I did more research and I found that the way it started was there was an old farmer who had an old cow who had an incontinent udder. And he probably used a catheter. He catheterized this cow and just had it go into a leg bag and had a bag of milk. And he thought, look at this, and all of his other Canadian buddies. So that's brilliant. And they took that to market. So Canada has the advantage when it comes to milk containment. They have milk in bags, and we don't have that here in the States. So attaboy, eh?
There you go, Canada.
Woo-hoo. The other thing, and this is the thing that surprised me, Hawaiian pizza. You know that pizza that's got that?
That makes sense.
That was invented in Canada. Why is it called Hawaiian pizza if a Canadian was the first to put pineapple with Canadian bacon on a pizza? I mean, Canadian bacon makes sense, but why does Canada have to invent something called Hawaiian pizza?
Well,
and they imparted it on the rest of the world.
The kids love them. All the kids around the world love them, though.
Attaboy, Canada. And the last thing I find that they have, which is clever, is they have a thing. It's a legal thing. It's called the Apology Act. Canadians have a tendency of saying, "I'm sorry about everything." Sorry, they're always apologizing. Sorry. In Canada, there's a thing called Apology Act that if you say you're sorry, like after a car accident or something, that you can say you're sorry, but it's not a legal binding apology. That just because you say, I'm sorry, I killed somebody, or I'm sorry, I did whatever, it can't be held up in court that it was an admission of guilt. So they have a thing called an Apology Act, which I think is an advancement in intelligence, that you can insult somebody, do something, just say, I'm sorry. And it's not legally that you did it.
I think we need to teach Trey that one.
Well, there you go. Well, he's not Canadian though.
No, that's a good point.
But so based on that alone, if I insulted Canadians on the last episode,
You're
sorry.
not.
Sorry. There you go.
So,
And the only other shout out I need to give is to our buddy Boots in West Virginia. All right. First of all, Boots, I'm not Jerry Pulaski. Anyhow, recently on the most recent Ask the Pulpit, he went off on a tirade about people over the age of 8 who still like ketchup. And he had a wonderful dissertation of the other traits that these people exhibit. I'm going to I'm not going to make any observation about West Virginia because I don't want to apologize to all of them. But
it wouldn't be admitting guilt.
Sorry. They may have the same law. I don't know. But the other thing I want to point out that, and it's along those lines, Boots, anybody over the age of 13 who wears their baseball caps backwards, they rally cap it. Anybody over the age 13 who wears their baseball caps backwards, there was a study conducted at some university that their IQ goes down 8.3 points for every year over the age of 13. So the older you get and you wear your hat backwards, the dumber you are. So add that to your list of people over 8 who don't like ketchup, people over 13 who wear their caps backwards. They fall in the same. They fall in. It's true. It's the same category.
Very okay. We're going to need to keep a list of this, and we're going to have to revisit this on our next takeover because I like that one.
I've witnessed it. People, especially around here, I don't understand. And this is going to get some rise. Guys who wear sports jerseys, and I see it a lot here in Indianapolis. Obviously, Final Four is happening tonight downtown. Who gives a shit? UConn and Michigan don't care. But you're seeing all these people in restaurants who are in town and they're all wearing jerseys. And same thing in football season. Everybody's running around wearing Colts jerseys. And I'm thinking, at what age do you stop that stuff? What age do guys stop wearing jerseys for, some guy who's making millions a year and you bought his jersey? It's the same category in my mind as guys who wear ball caps backwards. It's like, there comes a point where you got to have some self-identification. Don't identify as someone else.
The funny thing you brought up jerseys, because back when I met my wife, we met at a local bar, and she's a big sports fan. Doesn't wear jerseys or anything. My wife's a very big sports fan for college football, Georgia and Green Bay. And I have never been a sports fan. I think I've mentioned that several times on the show.
You and me both.
I can watch it, or truthfully, I'd rather just put on some music and listen to music than to watch sports. No offense to people who like sports, because I fully understand it is a way of life. It's a culture. It's everything. It's just not my thing. But we have an event at at our bar that we did every year. Once I've met her there, and we go back, and I would never wear jerseys, and everyone in the place is wearing support your local your favorite team.
Right.
So my wife, after 2 years, said, "Okay, you got to get a jersey." I was like, "I don't like sports." She goes, "If you had to pick one team, what would you pick?" I go, "If I had to pick, I was born in Dallas, so I guess I have that. I'll go with the Dallas Cowboys because that's who my mom watched growing up and things like that." And she's like, so the next flash forward 11 months and 28 days, when the party's there, hanging in my doorway is a brand new Troy Aikman jersey. And I'm like, really? So I have to wear this now? So now I have a jersey. So I have my first jersey. That was 12 years ago. I've worn it 3 times.
I was going to say, how often do you wear it?
I wore it 3 or 4 times, and then we moved, and now I don't have to wear jerseys anymore. So, because I just don't have them.
There you go.
But I definitely understand people who do wear jerseys, and I think it's great that they're supporting something that they feel strong enough to actually have the conviction to support something. It's kind of like just a T-shirt that has your favorite bar or something. But I think you're right. Wearing it constantly is.
It's all I see in this area. Unbelievable. Even when it's not football season, I see Colts jerseys everywhere, and I'm thinking, okay, good on you. Anyway, all right, whatever. All right, well, beep. I don't have the beeper. So beep beep. Let's do this now. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger
Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarella manufacturers in the world, founded way back in 1888. That's a long time ago. And still family owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. And their new motto should be, it takes a Villiger to raise a cigar smoker.
That's fantastic. Go. Renee, did you get that one?
You can use that. I gave you that one for free. More marketing in action. So I'll start off. We went and saw Project Hail Mary, that movie with what's his name in it? Ryan Gosling. Right?
Gosling,
yeah. We went and saw that last week. Have you seen this yet?
I have not. I have not been to a movie in quite a while.
All right.
That's not true. I did see one, but I'll bring that up in a minute.
Here's my take. The movie is I'm starting to go out here. It's 2 hours and 36 minutes long, and it should be 1 hour and 36 minutes long. The middle of it gets kind of stupid because it's all interfacing and action between him and the alien.
Ho. Don't give secrets away if people haven't seen it.
No. It's in the advertisements.
Okay.
He meets an alien. Alien's name is Rocky. I don't know exactly. It's a cute movie. You leave there going, well, that was cute. Stupid as hell, but cute. It's not scary science fiction. It's got a lot of visuals like 2001 Space Odyssey had. Where you're sitting there going, oh, dude. Like you're tripping acid or something. So visually, it's a very interesting movie. Scientifically, from what I surmise, there's true science in it. But you just sit there going, there's scary parts in there. So a little kid who would like Rocky in them, it would be kind of scary for the little kid. And the adults would look at it and go, well, that was dumb. So I'm not real sure who that target market is for this movie, but it's cute. And
remember the rating?
I have no idea. Probably PG-13. I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm just there are parts where you're going, all right, well, that's kind of stupid. So, but it's 2 hours and 36 minutes. Yeah, got me out of the house.
Oh, that's good. You need to get out of the house more.
I do. That's what I'm told a lot.
Yes.
But other than that, I've done nothing. I've watched a lot of news. I'm a newsaholic.
Yes, you've always been.
And I need to stop that shit probably because it pisses me off. Masters is coming up, so I will be watching that.
This week. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's April 9th through the 12th. So I will be tied to the television watching the Masters.
Yep. I'm going to be doing that as well.
So what have you been up to?
I've went, I guess, about 4 or 5 weeks ago and saw, what was it? Crime 101, I think it was called, with one of the Hemsworth brothers, Halle Berry, and someone else that's really good. I can't remember who it is, but the movie was not bad. It was an interesting, fun movie, and it kind of unrealistic in certain parts, but then it all tied itself up together at the end, which was a finish that you wouldn't expect in a lot of movies. And I'm not sure why it's called. I guess I do understand the name of it. So at the end, when it all comes together, it works out well. It the name of the movie and the storyline come together. So, but that was good. But because of my back and everything with this kidney stone for the last 2 weeks, I have actually been watching a boatload of shows on Netflix and the app that I use to watch all my TV. So I'm binge watching one right now called Orphan Black on Netflix. It's 4 seasons. Without giving it away too much, it's a really interesting story. That just keeps getting deeper and deeper. It's the same story for 4 seasons, but it transitions and you learn a lot more and a lot more and a lot more, and you're like, holy shit. And then you kind of freak.
What's it called?
Orphan Black.
Orphan Black. All right.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. It was an AMC show that was done, and Netflix, I think, took over the last year, so you can watch the whole thing on Netflix. 10 episodes a season, some really good acting and some really bad acting, but you got to give, without saying too much, the main character plays multiple roles and does a phenomenal job. And when you get into it, you're just like, holy crap, this has got to have been a nightmare for them to film, because it's just so much jumping back and forth. It's just wild, but a lot of fun, a lot of entertainment in it. It gets a little steamy in some scenes. Some scenes are kind of, you're like, why did you do that? But yes, it's a really good show. And then I've been catching up on a bunch of my other shows, like Night Agent, The Recruit. I just went and rewatched. I just found out that's not coming back, so I'm bummed. But there's certain shows that I really like that you're just like, damn, why isn't it coming back?
Yeah.
I've been sitting in front of Netflix because I've been laying in my recliner to take all the pressure off my back and just watching all sorts of stuff.
So are you going to get this kidney thing resolved, or are you just going to sit back and watch it happen?
From my understanding, with the size of the stone, I have to just sit back and watch it happen. It's not big enough for them to go in an ultrasound or pulverize or whatever they do to it.
Lithotripsy. That's what I wondered. Yeah, when you told me the size, I don't think that's big enough to zap. So you're just going to have to shoot it out like a BB and painfully let it ride.
So, but I had to go through that. I went through this again a year and a half ago when I had to have surgery for the stone, because it was 3 times the size of this one.
Right.
And that was causing a lot of problems.
I hesitate to say this, but you know what causes that?
I'm afraid to ask you.
Yeah,
I've met you.
Too much alcohol. Alcohol induces kidney stone development.
I could see that, but then it's hitting the wrong person, because I really don't drink that much.
All right.
I enjoy drinking. Don't get me wrong. I'll have a drink, but I don't ever overindulge. I've been down here for over 5 years now, and I've been drunk twice, and I've had a good buzz twice, and that's it.
Yeah.
So drinking, I think it's just a genetic thing within our family, because my twin brother goes through it.
Well, you've had it before.
Yeah, one other time, and then apparently I've got a whole gravel yard started down there, so that they can't do anything with.
We need a nickname. We need a nickname for you. Then we need to come up with a nickname.
Good. Send that into the Ask the Boys, and let's just overload Nick with this.
Call the pulpit.
Yeah,
pulpit hotline and suggested nicknames for Ken. Start calling him Stoner or something.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But,
well, good. All right.
Yeah. So, what else? Anything? Have you done any kind of readings or anything? I actually started doing something I've never done before. I started listening to other podcasts, which I've never done other than Nick's.
I only do 3. I listen to this one. Well, I won't listen to this one. I'll listen to the next episodes. I listen to the Cigar Authority, and I listen to Off Track with James Hinchcliffe and Alexander Rossi racing. So other than that, now, thing I've been doing lately a lot is watercolors. I've been getting.
You're painting.
Yeah, I'm back into multiple paintings going at any given time. So,
what about your photography? Are you still doing that?
I am, in fact. It's starting it's starting to get nice out, and I've got race season coming up, so I'll be going down to the track and get some motorsport photos and get out a little bit more. There's not a hell of a lot in Indiana to photograph in the winter time. So, yeah. But yeah, that season's coming up. So yeah, I've been trying to get more into the creative side of things and not just sitting and staring at the television. I'm not a big TV person anyway.
I wasn't, but this last 2 weeks I have turned into a
Yeah,
TV-aholic.
yeah.
So
Well, for good reason though.
yeah.
Anyway.
So,
All
but
right.
other than that, yeah, entertainment. I enjoy I've been listening to a lot of music. I've taken it because when the pain's so bad that I literally put music on in my earbuds, and I
Yeah,
kind of fall into a trance, for a lack of a better word. I kind of just try to escape,
right.
just to try to keep my body just not hurting so bad. I hate taking pain pills, so
Yeah, same with me. Well, I told you the other day.
yeah.
I went in. I had a molar was getting tender and sore. And last Friday, I went in to get an X-ray at an endodontist and walked out of there with a four
Well,
canal root canal taken out of my upper molar. So I spent the weekend popping Tylenol extra strength and Aleve, and yeah, it's doing all right. I've got a temporary filling now, and I get a crown in a few weeks. But yeah, it's just, I don't like that feeling, and I don't like
no,
taking pain pills. I don't know
yeah.
why. I'd rather be crabby and want to die than take a pain pill and remove the pain. But this time I got through it with just with Tylenol. I'll
Well,
be all
that's
right.
good. Yeah.
Anyway,
My doctor kept asking me, "Do you need more refills?" I was like, I only took the first 2 days. I took one each day instead of taking one every 4 hours. I was like, I
yeah,
just don't. I was like, no,
yeah,
I don't need any more, but thank you.
yeah. I'm that way. All right. Well, I'm down to like a nub. I have that much
You
left.
look
So
at you.
yeah, I know. Well, it's windy. The wind is smoking my cigar for me. So all right, we've been at this a while, so let's start wrapping this up. Where can people find you on the socials?
I'm at ashandale.com on the website. Ashandale, we have several different postings for Facebook. We have Ashandale, formerly known as the Humidor. We have Ashandale. We have Instagram, same thing. Post-wise, we've been very slow posting things recently. I got many letters from Facebook's locking us out of our account because we're posting too much cigar stuff. So that is becoming a little bit of an issue for us. And from my understanding, several other of the smaller mom and pops have been getting the same thing.
Right.
So we've got to just be careful and play nice. So we're just doing kind of more pictures of people sitting around with a cigar. As long as we don't talk about it or say anything about it, pictures, they don't really do anything.
Good.
So our social media has slowed down a little bit, which truthfully, as I think you all know, I'm not much of a social media person. My daughter does most of ours. So we've just kind of taken a little back step, let it relax for a little bit. From my understanding, there's a few new formats and places on the web to go that are going to be strictly just for cigars that I just
Really?
got, yeah, emails on. And
All right.
unfortunately, I saved them, but I forgot my phone today. So I
All
can't
right.
even bring them up because I ran out of the house too quickly this afternoon to get to this phone call.
At some point, share those with Nick, and
Okay, I will.
we'll ask him to put those out. That's important. That's good.
Yeah, I think that is too, and that's why I saved them.
All
So I
right.
will forward them
All
to
right.
Nick.
All right.
But I was hoping to bring them up today,
All right.
I literally walked out without my phone.
All right. That's good. Yeah.
So
I know it's getting sticky out there, and they're focusing on the wrong thing. But
I think
that
so too.
but that's social media.
Yep.
And I can be found only on one place. I don't do a lot of social media. It's nobody's business what I have with my life. But I'm findable on Instagram at Curmudge Jim. Jim is the ending. Curmudge Jim. And every now and then I'll post a photo or something. I don't post opinions up there because I really don't want to hear yours.
I will give you credit though. The pictures you have been posting over the last since your trip to what was it, South Dakota, wherever it was, Wyoming.
We're going to Yellowstone.
Yeah,
Wyoming.
those had some phenomenal pictures. So if you
Thank
guys
you.
want to see some nice
Thank you.
shots, it is definitely worth hitting his site just to see some of these action animal pictures and just scenic beauty.
Yeah.
For some reason, with as grumpy and as mean as he is, he has an eye for the scenic beauty. So
Well, there'll be some coming up. I'll probably be posting some early in March. I'm sorry, early in May. I'll be putting more photos up on that. And again, like I said, there's going to be some racing posted. I'm buying another lens later
what are you
this
going
summer.
with?
Well, I'm going to get a wide angle. I'm stepping down to about a 10 millimeter, and I'm going to start working on astrophotography. I'm going to try to start working more on getting some Milky Way and constellations, and
That's time lapse photography type thing, and just keeping shutters open and all of that.
stick it out there and let it hang
Yep.
for a while. Yep. So we're going to be working on that direction a little bit. But
That'll be
anyway,
neat. I'm looking forward to seeing those.
Pulpit Fest. Pulpit Fest
Yes.
is coming soon. It's October 1st through the 4th at Ash and Ale in Palm Coast, Florida.
If you didn't catch that earlier in the show,
And numerous. That was cute. That was cute. He did a good job plugging you.
that was new to
So-
me. We didn't even talk about that.
He's good. You and Nick and I will be having a conference call probably in about a month and a half, I would think. I think we have a little time.
Yeah.
And we're going to pull some plans. I've got a few new ideas for the event this year. I know the VIP tickets are sold out, and I'm thrilled to say that for Nick. The regular admission is still available. I beg you guys, get down there, boots, get down there so I can put my foot up your ass for thinking I'm Jerry Pulaski. So there are a lot of you folks out there. I beseech thee, come to Pulpit Fest. You won't regret it. It's probably one of the best times I've had in many, many years. I went last year. I'm coming back this year.
We have a decision. Yes.
I've got airplane tickets. I got hotel and I got rental car, bub. I'm there.
Oh,
So-
fantastic.
So I'm locked in on that. Last of all, Cigar Chronicle. If you have not registered and signed up for that, get your ass over to cigarpulpit.com. Sign up for the Cigar Chronicle. Nicholas has pounded out 3 issues already.
Just-
This last issue, and I printed some of it here, he has 28 cigar companies naming 43 cigars that are going to be coming out. It's a great opportunity for you to be able to get some fun anecdotal information, some tidbits of knowledge, but most importantly, to see what's happening in the industry. He's doing a phenomenal job on that. I'm excited to see how that shapes up for him. Hopefully we'll get some advertisers in there and help fund that project a little bit for him. I know Dakota, I believe it was, said that he'd like to be an ambassador and hand it out at his local lounges. I ask all of you to consider doing the same. It costs nothing. He'll ship it to the lounge, and it's going to be in there for people to read and enjoy and share. So it's a worthwhile thing to look at. It's a fun, easy read.
And that's the beauty of it. It's not long. The segments that he has in there are captured in a very finite amount of time. So it's like a minute and a half, 2 minute per topic read. Makes it very enjoyable, but you get a lot of information. I have enjoyed them. With what you're saying, we're sitting here and I gotta deviate for 1 second. My smartwatch is telling me that my stress level is extremely high because of the pain in my back from sitting here. And I just looked at my watch and I'm like, you're kidding me.
Yeah, I know. We're about done here. It's an hour and 45 minutes, I think. So with that, folks, thanks for listening. Again, I want to give a special thanks to my son for letting us play with this podcast. I hope we didn't break it too bad. I hope we didn't bore you all too much. Odds are Ken and I will never be able to do this again. So if you have any complaints, keep them to yourselves. If you have anything,
If you liked it, don't.
If you have positive things to say, leave Nick a message at 863-874-0000 or Tofu Pie with no E, Tofu Pie 0000, and pass your thoughts. Hopefully we didn't bore you too much.
I hope you guys had as much fun as we did, because Jim and I have been talking about this and we were looking forward to doing this and being able to give Nick that break that he well deserves. So,
well, we assume he's going to upload this and actually play the damn thing. There's no guarantee at this point.
That's a good point. Yes, we've met Nick too.
But anyway, with that, folks, thank you for listening. And as Nick would say, signing off, stay safe, stay smoky, and stay the hell out of trouble. All right.
Have a good day, guys. Thanks for your time.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And now we return you to your normal podcast feed.
I'm Nick. Everybody, stay safe, stay smoky. Take it easy, everyone.